My dear child, there is something your heart has been quietly asking for. Something deeper than attraction, deeper than loneliness, deeper than just wanting someone by your side. You've been asking for a connection that feels real, something chosen, something meaningful, something that feels like it came from God Himself. And maybe you've prayed about it. Maybe you've wondered if that person even exists, or if you've already missed them somehow. But listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you may change the way you see everything. God does not play games with your heart, and when it comes to something as sacred as a soulmate, He does not leave you without signs. But the truth is, most people miss them, not because they aren't there, but because they're looking in the wrong places, or expecting something louder, something more obvious, while God often speaks in ways that are quiet, subtle, but incredibly clear if you're paying attention. And the first way God begins to reveal your soulmate is through alignment, not just attraction, because attraction can happen with many people, but alignment is rare. It's when your values, your direction, your faith begin to match in a way that feels natural, not forced. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to shrink or become someone else to be understood. There is a sense of ease, a sense of clarity, like you're not trying to make something work. It just flows. And this is where many people get confused. They chase intensity instead of alignment. They follow emotions instead of peace. But God's connections don't confuse you. They confirm you. They bring a quiet certainty that doesn't need constant validation. And if you ignore that, you may walk away from something real while chasing something temporary. The second way God reveals your soulmate is through timing, because not every connection that feels good is meant for now, and not every delay is a rejection. Sometimes God is preparing both of you separately before bringing you together, shaping your character, strengthening your faith, teaching you things you will need later. And during this time, it can feel frustrating, like things are not moving, like doors keep closing. But those closed doors are not punishment, they are protection. Because if something comes too early, it can break instead of build. And God is not just concerned about giving you love, He is concerned about sustaining it. So if something is truly meant for you, it will not require you to force the timing. It will come together when both hearts are ready. The third way God reveals your soulmate is through peace, not chaos, not confusion, not constant anxiety about where you stand, but peace, even in the uncertainty. Even when everything is not fully clear yet, there is a calmness in your spirit, a sense that you don't have to fight to hold on. And this is important, because the world often glorifies dramatic love, intense highs, and painful lows. But God's design is different. His kind of love brings stability. It doesn't leave you overthinking every word. It doesn't leave you questioning your worth. It doesn't make you feel like you're always about to lose the person. Instead, it builds you, it strengthens you, it brings you closer to Him, not further away. And if a connection is constantly draining your peace, you need to pause and ask yourself, is this really from God, or is it just something I want to be from Him? The fourth way God reveals your soulmate is through growth, because the right person will not just make you feel good, they will make you better, not by forcing you, not by criticizing you, but by naturally inspiring you to grow, to become more disciplined, more focused, more aligned with your purpose. And this goes both ways. You will also bring growth into their life, and together you will push each other towards something higher, not just emotionally, but spiritually, because a God-ordained connection is not just about companionship, it's about purpose. It's about walking in the same direction, building something that reflects something greater than just yourselves. And if a relationship is pulling you away from who you're meant to be, then no matter how good it feels, it is not what God intended. And finally, the fifth way God reveals your soulmate is through confirmation, not confusion. Because when something is truly from God, He will confirm it in more than one way, through your spirit, through your circumstances, sometimes even through other people who speak into your life. Not in a way that pressures you, but in a way that brings clarity. And this doesn't mean everything will be perfect. It doesn't mean there won't be challenges, but it does mean that deep down, there is a knowing, a quiet assurance that this is not something you created on your own. It's something that was guided, something that was aligned beyond your understanding. But here is what you must not ignore. Just because someone feels right does not automatically mean they are right. You have to stay grounded, stay aware, stay connected to God, because Your emotions can sometimes lead you faster than your wisdom. And that's where mistakes happen. So instead of rushing, learn to observe, learn to notice the signs, not just the feelings, because feelings can change, but God's direction does not. And maybe right now you're wondering, what if I miss it? What if I walk past the person God chose for me? See? But hear this clearly. What God has planned for you is not fragile. It is not something that will disappear because of one wrong step. If you stay aligned with Him, if you stay open, aware, and honest with yourself, He will guide you again and again until you are exactly where you're meant to be. So don't chase love blindly. Don't force connections that feel uncertain. Don't ignore the signs just because they don't match your expectations. Instead, slow down, pay attention, trust the process, because the person meant for you will not only find their way into your life, but they will align with it in a way that feels peaceful, purposeful, and real. And when that happens, you won't have to question it constantly. You'll recognize it, not just with your emotions, but with your spirit, and that is something you should never ignore. My dear child, now that you've begun to understand how God reveals your soulmate, there is something deeper you must not overlook, because recognizing the signs is only one part of the journey. The other part is preparing your own heart to receive what God is trying to give you. And this is where many people go wrong. They focus so much on finding the right person that they forget to become the right person. And then when God brings someone into their life, they are not ready to sustain what they prayed for, and slowly, something that was meant to grow begins to fall apart. Not because it wasn't from God, but because it wasn't handled with wisdom. And this leads to something important. Your soulmate is not meant to complete you. They are meant to align with you, because if you are searching for someone to fill every empty place inside you, you will put a pressure on them that no human can carry. You will expect them to heal wounds they didn't create, to give you peace that only God can provide. And that kind of expectation will slowly damage even the most genuine connection. So before you ask God to reveal your soulmate, you must ask Him to prepare your heart, to strengthen your identity, to make you whole enough that when the right person comes, you don't depend on them for your worth, but you walk beside them in strength, not in neediness. And here is another truth you must accept. Not every strong connection is your soulmate. Sometimes God allows certain people to enter your life not to stay, but to teach, to reveal patterns in you, to show you what needs healing. And if you don't learn from those moments, you will keep repeating the same cycles, mistaking familiarity for destiny, attachment for purpose. And that is why discernment matters. You have to look beyond how someone makes you feel and start asking, what is this connection producing in my life? Is it bringing clarity or confusion, peace or anxiety, growth or distraction? Because God's connections build, they don't slowly break you down. And my dear child, there will also be moments when God asks you to wait, and waiting is not easy, especially when your heart desires companionship, when you see others finding love, when you feel like time is moving and nothing is changing. But waiting is not wasted. It is preparation. It is protection. It is God aligning things in ways you cannot see yet. And in that waiting, He is shaping you, refining your character, teaching you patience, teaching you how to hear His voice more clearly. Because when the right person comes, you will need that clarity. You will need that strength. You will need that foundation. And sometimes, the reason you haven't met your soulmate yet is not because they don't exist, but because something in you still needs to shift. A mindset, a habit, a wound that hasn't healed. Because God is not just thinking about your present feelings. He is thinking about your future, about what will last, about what will grow into something meaningful and stable. And if He gave it to you too early, it might not survive. So instead of asking, when will they come, begin asking, who am I becoming while I wait? Because that question will change your focus. It will move you from chasing something external to building something internal. And when your focus shifts like that, you begin to grow in ways you didn't expect. You begin to attract differently. You begin to recognize things you used to ignore. And listen carefully. When your soulmate does come into your life, it will not feel like constant confusion. It will not feel like you're always trying to prove your worth. It will not feel like you are losing yourself to keep them. Instead, it will feel like alignment, like peace, like something that fits without forcing. And yes, there will still be challenges, there will still be moments of misunderstanding, but even in those moments, there will be a foundation strong enough to hold you both steady. And this is something you must never ignore. God will never bring someone into your life who pulls you away from Him if a connection is weakening your faith, distracting your focus, or leading you into patterns that don't align with your values. Then no matter how strong it feels, it is not from God, because what comes from Him will always lead you closer to Him, not further away. And maybe right now, you're thinking about someone, wondering if they are the one, trying to read the signs, trying to understand what God is doing, and that's okay. But don't rush your conclusion. Don't force clarity. Let it unfold, because real confirmation does not need to be chased. It reveals itself over time, through consistency, through actions, through alignment that doesn't fade when emotions fluctuate. So, my dear child, don't ignore the signs, but also don't ignore your growth. Don't ignore your healing. Don't ignore the quiet work God is doing inside you right now, because your story is not just about finding someone. It's about becoming someone who can recognize, receive, and sustain the kind of love you've been praying for. And when that moment finally comes, it will not feel rushed. It will not feel forced. It will feel right, not just in your emotions, but deep in your spirit. And that is how you will know that this is something you were never meant to ignore. My dear child, now that you've begun to understand both the signs and the preparation, there is something even deeper that you must come to terms with, because many people desire a God-ordained connection, but very few are willing to walk through the process that actually leads to it. And the truth is, this journey is not just about discovering your soulmate. It is about discovering yourself in the presence of God. It is about becoming so aligned with Him that when the right person appears, you are not confused, not desperate, not blinded by emotion, but clear, grounded, and aware. Because here is what most people don't realize. Desperation can disguise itself as love. Loneliness can make anything feel like destiny. And emotional attachment can feel so strong that you convince yourself it must be from God, even when deep down, something doesn't sit right. And this is where many people make decisions that lead to heartbreak, not because God failed them, but because they rushed ahead of His timing. They chose based on feelings instead of discernment. They ignored small warnings because they were focused on the possibility of what something could become, instead of seeing it for what it actually is. And I need you to understand this clearly. Not every strong connection is a confirmation. Sometimes it is a test, a moment where you are being asked to choose between what feels good and what is truly right. And those tests don't always come in obvious ways. They often come wrapped in something attractive, something that seems almost perfect on the surface. But slowly, over time, you begin to notice small misalignments, differences in values, differences in direction, a lack of peace that you try to ignore. And instead of stepping back, many people hold on tighter, hoping things will change, hoping it will somehow become what they want it to be. But hope without truth leads to illusion, and illusion always breaks eventually. So how do you protect yourself from that? How do you truly recognize when something is from God and when it is not? The answer is not found in emotion, it is found in consistency, because what comes from God will not just feel right in one moment, it will remain right over time. It will show itself in actions, in character, in the way that person lives their life when you're not even watching, because anyone can present a version of themselves for a short period, but consistency reveals truth, and truth is what you must build your decisions on, not temporary feelings. And my dear child, there is something else you must guard, your imagination, because sometimes you don't fall in love with a person. You fall in love with the idea of them, with the future you've created in your mind, with the version of them that exists in your expectations. And when reality doesn't match that image, you begin to feel confused, not realizing that you were never connected to who they truly are, but to who you hoped they would become. And this is dangerous, because it keeps you attached to something that isn't real and prevents you from seeing clearly. This is why patience is not optional. It is necessary, because time reveals what emotion hides. Time exposes what is genuine and what is not. Time shows you whether a connection is built on something solid or something temporary. And if you rush that process, you will miss the clarity that time brings. You will make decisions based on incomplete understanding, and later, you will have to face the consequences of something you could have avoided. And let me speak directly to your heart for a moment. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing out, even if it feels like everyone around you is moving forward while you are still waiting. Your story is not meant to follow someone else's timeline. It is meant to follow God's timing, and His timing is not random. It is intentional, precise, and always working for something greater than what you can currently see. Because sometimes God is not just preparing you, He is also preparing the person meant for you, shaping their character, teaching them lessons, guiding them through their own growth. And if your paths cross too early, you might not recognize each other for who you truly are. Or worse, you might damage something that was meant to last. And that is why delay is not denial. It is alignment. It is God positioning both of you in the right place at the right time with the right mindset so that when you meet, you are ready. And here is something that may challenge you. You must stop idolizing the idea of a soulmate. Because when you place that desire above your relationship with God, it begins to control your decisions. It begins to influence how you see people, how you interpret signs, how you respond to situations. And slowly, without realizing it, you start chasing something instead of trusting God to lead you to it. And that shift, it creates confusion, because now you are relying on your own understanding instead of His guidance. So instead of chasing, learn to become still, learn to listen, learn to trust that what is meant for you will not require you to force it into existence. It will come naturally, clearly, in a way that does not leave you constantly questioning, because God is not the author of confusion. He is the author of peace. And if something is constantly disrupting your peace, making you anxious, uncertain, or insecure, you need to pause and ask yourself, is this truly from Him, or is this something I am trying to make work on my own? And when the right person comes, you will not feel like you have to lose yourself to keep them. You will not feel like you have to constantly prove your worth. You will not feel like you are walking on unstable ground. Instead, there will be a sense of stability, a sense of mutual respect, a sense that both of you are moving in the same direction, not perfectly, but intentionally. And that intention, that shared direction, is what sustains a relationship beyond feelings. And yes, there will still be moments of challenge, moments where you have to communicate, to grow, to adjust, but those moments will not break the foundation. Because the foundation is not built on emotion alone. It is built on alignment, on shared values, on a connection that was guided, not forced. So my dear child, do not rush this process. Do not ignore the quiet signals God is giving you. Do not settle for something that only feels right on the surface, and do not lose yourself in the waiting, because this season you are in right now, it is not empty, it is not meaningless, it is shaping you in ways that will prepare you for something greater. And if you stay faithful in this process, if you continue to grow, to listen, to trust, you will not miss what is meant for you, because what God has prepared for you is not fragile. It will not disappear because of one mistake. It will not pass you by without clarity. He will guide you step by step, moment by moment, until you are exactly where you need to be. So take a deep breath, release the pressure, let go of the fear of missing out, and focus on becoming the person you are meant to be. Because when the time is right, when everything is aligned, when both hearts are ready, what is meant for you will not only find you, it will stay, it will grow, and it will become something that reflects not just your desires, but God's design. And that is something you should never rush and never ignore.